Right, hello again, and we are well refreshed after our week off. So thanks for letting us have time off last week. But we're here for the long haul, and here we are with ShrimpNet 11 this week. We have the usual chat about recent happenings and previewing the upcoming challenges. Joining us from the boardroom in a taxi or a car being chauffeured around, it's the very positive Charlie Appleyard. Charlie, welcome along.
Good evening, everyone. How are we doing?
Okie dokie. And from the dressing room, we have, I was going to call him the elder statesman, but I can't now because I found out he's not the eldest, he's third eldest, and he's quite happy about that. But yes. He's in his second period with us, and what I find is quite amusing is he's become a bit of a cult hero because now he's got his own tune, which is very similar to the Joe Root's shout in cricket, and it's Jordan Slew. Welcome along, Jordan.
Thank you.
So, where do we start? And the usual thing is we talk about the games that have just happened. So, Sutton last weekend, we win 3-2 with a Joel Senior. I won't say pile driver. I'll say a
Daisy cutter.
It was a bobbler, Joel, but they all count. Talk us through it, Joel.
No, exactly. Yeah, I thought. Yeah, inevitably I got quite a few texts actually as well saying I didn't know your dad played for Morecambe when Joel Senior put that one away. But it was a tough game that I thought watching it back. I know that the bottom. It was weird watching it because I could kind of see how Sutton were bottom, but I could also see how they end up pacing a couple of teams 4-5-0 because they really do bombard you with that kind of that physical approach. And if you kind of start faltering against it, and you can see the couple of goals they get their backs up. You kind of slouch off a bit. You can kind of see how those score lines have happened, but at the same time, it is somewhat one-dimensional. I think what we did really well is we stood up to a lot of their kind of aerial bombardment, and obviously they've nicked a goal just before half time, and then I think in that period after half time they've really come on to us and they have managed to get the equaliser. But aside from that, I thought we stood up really, really well. We've held on in there. We've managed, especially in the first half, I think a couple of decent attacks, a few decent attacks in the break, and that's where the second goals come from. Obviously, and it was moving up the ball up the pitch quickly, Bloxham taking it down, squaring it to May, finished really, really well. So, yeah, I thought it was an interesting game, and I think kind of one that kind of like shows how fun League Two is and how interesting it is to see lots of different styles. We've had one end of the scale in Notts County who will just religiously pass the ball around and try to move up the pitch that way, and that was a big challenge. And I thought we defended that really, really well. And then we've come away to Sutton on their ground as well, where they I think were particularly effective at playing the game on their terms. And they're kind of smashing up the pitch. So it just shows all the kind of different challenges that you have in this league. And yeah, I thought they didn't. I think Don Love mentioned it in his pre-match interview ahead of Tuesday's game. They made it really difficult to play our game. I think it was difficult to kind of get that fast, quick-moving football going because they would slow the game down a bit. They'd be hitting it very long, and everything would be coming over on your head. But we stood up really, really well. We still managed to craft out a few attacks, and we kind of came out of that wave of pressure we kind of had in the second half, and we were drawing. And when you come out in that position, you put yourself in a place where, you create a little bit of pressure going towards the end. And I think that's what we did. I know obviously the goal itself is a long shot, but it's come from a little period of pressure when we've had a couple of corners. So we've been building, we've been getting up the pitch. So yeah, just really nice to get a bit of a last minute winner. And obviously I think it has to be mentioned about the various disasters a couple of coaches had on the way down, the way back. Yeah. And it's nice that they, having gone through all that, they were actually rewarded with an exciting kind of last-minute winner.
I think that probably did it. Where one of the minibuses had a flat on the way there and a flat on the way home. The other minibus broke down on the way home, but they didn't get home till 9:45 Sunday morning. And the one thing that probably made it all bearable was that last-minute winner, because 91st minute winners are always great to see. From a game point of view, Jordan, knowing what Sutton are like, even the Pie Ladies 6'3", we knew what we were expecting on Saturday. But blimey, that was a tough game, wasn't it?
We were told that obviously there was a physical side, but you might hear that with quite a few teams. But this was the most physical side I've probably ever played against. Yes, definitely. Not good with names, but I was picking up number 4 from the corner, and it was just I'm not a small guy. Like, I think usually when we're playing any other team, I'd be on the pitch, but I was at his not probably not even his shoulder height. You know, it was just a wrestle. I think, how many corners did they have that game? We must have about 10 to 15 corners, and you know, he's swinging his arms, his elbows, and then you know, it was. I think we all felt pretty beat up after that game. You know, it was a very, you know, very physical game, and we weren't. I don't think we were good in patches of the game, but I don't. We got the ball down and played our stuff like we've done, you know, previously. So it was just kind of, you know, it was on their terms really, and you know, there was slinging up top with the big lads. We had no chance to win in the second. We didn't really get on the second balls, but we just had. I think what won us the game was our little stints in the first and the second half, where we took our chance as well.
Yeah, that was the impression I got, in the fact that it was basically. It was like the siege of Stalingrad, and then there was like a 5-minute. Oh well, we've got some respite. We're in their half, and every time we got there, we managed to, as Joel said, we managed to actually concoct a chance and took it. And I think that's probably what won us the game, because I'm pretty sure we've that and the Tranmere game, we haven't played particularly well, and yet we've come away with 6 points. And
definitely.
That just shows some resilience, doesn't it?
Definitely, absolutely. Like with Sutton, like obviously in the first half, you know, you'd probably argue they were probably deserving to go ahead in the first half, because I think they were on top of us for a lot of that first half. And same with the second, but you know, it was just small margin in games where, you know, they miss their chance and we take ours, which, you know, decide the game. Tranmere, very different game. They're a good side. I don't think it reflects where they are on the table, but they are a good side. They can play ball. And yeah, just I don't think we was at it to where we've been at in previous weeks. But, you know, it's not going to be like that every week. We're not going to be able to play, you know, fantastic every week. But this game's about results, and, you know, just them fine margins in games, you know, which decide it. And, you know, luckily Stokes has come in, whipped a good ball, and I know he's trying to claim it, but when you see it back on the DVD, it's an own goal. But even when we're playing these games like
I think that's harsh. I think that was going in. It might have been the post. I think it was going in.
I was on the pitch, but the angle I'm at, it looks like if the guy doesn't flick it in, it's just going into the keeper's arm. So to me, it looked like it was clearly on target. But then when you look at the camera view, the ball's kind of swinging out.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's hard to see whether, like, you know, if he didn't touch it, would have gone.
Jordan, would you be claiming it if it was yours, mate? Is the question.
I'd try, but when I see the video, I can't blame him for giving it an OG. I said to Stokes in the gym, I said, "That's your goal." Of course it is, because where I was stood, it looked clear that it was going on target. Yeah. But then when you see from the other end of the camera point of view, like it looks like it's swinging out. But it's unlucky.
So come back to this game, Charlie. I was, shall we say, grief-stricken at half-time, because I was like, the aerial bombardment that we were getting, and then we lost Stuart Moore and we lost Faz, and I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen this second half? But again, the squad, as we've already said, showed they knuckled down, and yes, we did ride our luck a bit, but we've played a lot better than that last year and got absolutely nothing in the division above. So it made a nice change.
I don't know, Freez. I had a bit of a different view of it, really. You know, I thought first of all, Jordan was laughing a few times when they were so big. Jordan was having a laugh to himself about how difficult it was to win those battles. That number 4 guy's called Omar Shomi. His brother Theo used to work with me, and he played all over the place. It's striker, I think, but then he's gone back to being centre half. He's about 6'9", absolutely massive. But I thought we did really well to go 2-2 ahead, and great penalty by Michael Mellon, and I thought we seemed to roll with the punches. So many injuries and suspensions going round. I'm just quite glad
Exactly.
we had 11 men on the pitch for once, which was good to see. Um,
That's a good point.
Jordan and the lads all playing did really, really, really well. And I think they just got really, really nervous about coming to second half, and the good goal by the centre half to get to 2-2. But they backed off too much, didn't they? Backed off,
Yeah.
and got a shot away. And what a great finish! So it reminds me of the promotion season a little bit with these results we keep getting.
Yeah, I think
But
initially,
it's just a great win, and you could tell that I think they lack confidence, but we had confidence. Was the difference between the two teams at the end, really?
yeah, I think from now on, the thing that tickled me was that the crowd were encouraging Joel Senior to shoot, and he did. And I think on this podcast we are now officially calling Joel shots bouncing bombs, because I think that's why the keeper missed it, because he did take a couple of bounces, didn't it? And it was like, what? Oh, it's gone in, but I'm not complaining. So we'll move on to Tranmere. As John's already touched on, they looked half decent side, didn't they? They just lacked a cutting edge up front, Joel, but they played it around quite well.
Yeah, that was kind of my take on them. I thought, I kind of thought similar. I thought they did knock it around quite well. They moved up the pitch. I thought they moved up the pitch quite nicely. But when it came to the final third, they were a bit toothless, and I think you saw the lack of confidence in the final 10 minutes when we were a bit backs against the wall and they were pouring forwards, and they actually did manage to kind of have a good few opportunities fall their way, but they managed to fluff pretty much every single one. You could kind of see that lack of cutting edge and confidence. But overall, I thought in the game we were worthy of our lead. We probably could have nicked a second on the break. Obviously, I think we discussed against Sutton. They made it really difficult for us to play the game we wanted to play, and I don't think we're at our best against Tranmere, but we did put some really nice moves together going forward. I think just to touch on what you kind of mentioned before, really about the injuries and suspensions, I think it's going to be hard to look as a fluent best as we might want to be, because with the amount of key players that we've kind of got injured and suspended, it's difficult. But it's really good to see that everybody else who's stepping up is putting in a really good shift, and we're still making chances and we're still hanging in games and grinding out results, which is really positive to see. So, yeah, it was a really pleasing night. And I think, I know Tranmere weren't that full of cutting edge, but I thought we defended pretty solidly going forwards. I mean, Tom Bloxham down the right wing I thought he was sensational down the right.
First half particularly.
Yeah, particularly the first half. It was mad. And Joel Senior as well, who's been fantastic this season. And we joked about his shooting, but that combination on the right was fantastic. And Jacob Dirt at the back, I thought as well, really, really good. And it's just nice to see across the pitch. There's lots of people just stepping up and putting a shift in, and it's good to see that kind of level of competition around the squad when we've got the level of injuries we've had. But just good to see that we're still grinding out results and we're looking fluent and we're not playing at our best, but we're still making chances and still having lots of players across the pitch churning out good positive performances.
And I think the one thing that came out of the evening was that most teams above us, apart from Swindon, won. So us winning didn't really have any massive effect. It went from 10th to 8th. And that's probably the way we like it on here, isn't it? Because we're desperate to stay under the radar, Joel, aren't we? If we can get to middle of April and nobody's noticed we're still in with a shout, I think that's a nice way to be.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few teams in this league this season that are hogging all the cameras, shall we say?
Yes.
So we can let them have the attention. But that's the thing, we're playing really, really well. I think I was looking back at the kind of last 6. We're 6 unbeaten in the league now. I look back at all of them, and I think we won 4, we've drawn 2. That's a really good run of form. And I think I look back at them. I think we've deserved to win 5 of them. I think we deserve to beat Accrington.
Yes, I agree.
I think we deserve to beat by 3 or 4, to be honest. Swindon, the draw, probably fair. They created a lot against us, and we've done well to fight back with 10 men. But these aren't just. This isn't just a kind of fluky run of results where we popped a couple of 30-yarders in and come out the right side of things. These are games we really deserved at least a point from, and most of them we deserve to win. So it's good to see that the results are the positive results are also matching the positive performances as well.
Yeah. And looking ahead, Jordan, we've got a couple of tricky games coming up. Obviously, Wimbledon at home, they had a bit of a tonking off Accrington the other night, which I don't think they were expecting because they've been going pretty well. But obviously, a difficult side. Different challenges to both Sutton and Tranmere because they're a little bit of both, rather than sort of like being a total football or a long ball side. But from a point of view of the confidence of the dressing rooms, now 7 unbeaten. You were saying before we started that confidence is really high and that the squad are very together.
Yeah, definitely. Like obviously Wimbledon next, but we just take game by game. It's such a just game by game, and the confidence is high. Like I think we've gelled good partnerships all around the dressing room. Like it's just so nice being in training every day. Like the atmosphere is always fun. Even though the gaffer, everyone who knows him, he's not messing around. He wants the work done in training and games at high intensity. But then at the same time, it's fun doing that because it's the atmosphere around the place. That we have good banter with each other, and then going into a Tuesday game or Saturday afternoon, we're always full of confidence. So we know what we can do. In possession, we're good football inside, and then out possession, we look solid as well. So we're going into this game full of confidence, looking to win, especially at home as well. We're unbeaten in the league at home, so we want to continue that run.
Yeah, and
I think with the away games, Freeze, people think they're going to. They all think they're going to win. Like it's Sutton on Saturday, just as I saw Jordan come off the coach. Went back in and the manager was giving a talk to the people in the corporate hospitality bit, basically saying, we know they're a good team, but we're going to get 3 points today. I think we started off so strongly, they were a bit taken aback. And so we are at an advantage about the under the radar thing. Everyone thinks they're going to beat Little Old Morecambe and they don't.
Yeah. Long may that continue.
Yeah, you can't do that in this league because when anyone can beat anyone. Even though you've got your top sides, the small sides can still go there and win. It's just that's football. That's just how it happens. So, if you're going to a game, just assuming you're going to win, then you might be in for a surprise. But you've got to be on it all the time. Which the gaffer. When we haven't stepped out, I don't think we've really stepped out to pedal yet. Even though we haven't been our full best in the last couple of games, the gaffer will never let us off the pedal. So we're going into every game. We're going to be at it and we'll just give everything we've got.
And I think looking at the Wimbledon game on Saturday, we're going to have to, as Joel's already mentioned, we're going to have to make full use of the squad, aren't we? Because obviously we've got that many people missing. And it could be possible. I don't know the situations with Donald and David Chitonda, but obviously Jake Taylor, Kingy, and obviously we've got Adam, Jacob, and Connolly still suspended. So then I'm not sure about Faz, and obviously Stuart Moore's not looking so good, but Smithy did well the other night. So you're looking at that. We could have 9 missing, and we've only got a squad of 22, Jordan. You're going to have to be left back, centre half, and up front, I think.
If need be, I'll do it. But no, we've got lads who have not played much this season so far. But some of them are going to get a chance on Saturday, of course. With the suspensions. So when we're playing our games, they're doing extra runs after training. After the game, and then in training they're doing extras. No one's ever letting off. So if they are put in, and I'm pretty sure they'll be ready to go.
And coming to the Wimbledon game, Joel, obviously they've got a player we're familiar with, both with Accrington and Colchester, who got sent off the last time we played Harry Pell when we played Colchester in the promotion season. And obviously they've got James Tilley as well, who's been knocking the goals in as well. So they've got some dangerous players, and it's there's nothing worse than playing a well-fancied team just after they're a bit of a wounded animal after a 4-2 home defeat.
Yeah, I think they've not been the best run of form recently, Wimbledon, to be fair. But I know throughout the season they've been relatively pretty strong away from home. But
yeah,
I think with these things, you don't want to maybe look too far into the form book as much, and you just got to kind of look at what the performances, what's weak about them, where can we get them, what we've got to look out for. And like you say, they've got a decent few players. Harry Pell's a bit of a handful when he plays. Hamady's a good player. So you've got some decent players in there, but yeah, you just got. It's hard to go off the form because I remember, somebody's got to slip up at some point. I remember when we played Forest Green and it was their home record versus our scary away record. But really, the away record was kind of it was the hangover from last season, really, wasn't it? And I remember going on another podcast and people were trying to get me to fret about the away record, but I was like, it's fine. We were playing bloody like Ipswich away, and look at them; they're second in the championship. They're about 9 points to go to third. So like, with basically the same team as well. So that you got to remember the quality of opposition we were up against in League One last season, and then coming down to League Two, it didn't feel like League One was a very much. I know people said it in interviews, but League One last season wasn't really much of a anybody can beat anybody on their day. Let's be honest, because it was just
it was three.
The extremes of the top end of the division were really extreme that year. But this season, there were some great teams. There were some really good teams at the top end of League Two. But I think that quality really carries down. You've seen that in teams like ourselves, teams like Wimbledon. Clubs who are getting like 5,000 attendances. Accrington, they've bounced back pretty well in this division. Obviously, played Wimbledon recently. There's a lot of teams who are looking really pretty strong. So it's going to be. I think the top four look really, really, really strong. It's going to be hard to crack there, but anything below from about 12th upwards, there's a lot of really strong teams. And Wimbledon are in that pack. And I know they've not been as good recently, but they're in that pack. So yeah, it'll be a tricky game, no doubt. But as kind of Jordan's already said, you can't take your foot off the gas. And all the teams are going to surprise you, and you can't just slack off and expect to go and win a game.
So looking at that, the Tuesday following, we're away at Holker Street at Barrow, which in past days was a Lancashire derby, but now obviously since 1974 they've moved counties, but they still class themselves as Lancashire. And interestingly, you can still get a Lancashire Cricket Club membership if you live in Barrow, because they still class them as because they've got an LA postcode. That's a useless bit of information which nobody will find interesting, but I thought I'd say it just the same.
My driver's laughing about how boring that was.
Yeah, good. That's why I said it. It was absolutely useless and no use to anybody, and that's what I'm here for. So
how trick or treat, Jordan? How trick or treat?
What's that, sorry?
Halloween joke.
Because it is Halloween, and it could be Nightmare at Holker Street, couldn't it, Joel? But I hope not.
Yeah, hopefully not. They've been doing well this season, haven't they, Barrow?
Yeah.
I think Pete, while he's quite a pragmatic and relatively a pretty effective manager, I know he's done well a little bit before this division, dropped down division, done really well in National League, and is kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, I found it. Is he your previous manager from Halifax, Jordan?
He is, yeah.
Yeah, you can tell us a bit more about him then. Yeah, what's he like?
He's honestly just a really nice guy. He kind of quite laid back, I think he always knew the best side to pick for whatever game it was, and he just kind of just let us crack on with it and take responsibility for ourselves. But yeah, I really enjoyed my time with him. I think he's a good guy, and it's nice to see him doing well at Barrow now.
Yeah, he likes to play quite attacking football, doesn't he?
Yeah. So like in our first season, so he left after I did 2 years there, and he left after the first. But the first season, yeah, we were unbelievable to watch. We played a good football, and like it was really enjoyable. Yeah, really enjoyable.
Loves the 3-5-2.
That didn't work for us. I don't know if they're playing that now, but for us that didn't work. I think we tried that against I think it was against Stockport last game of the season, where I don't think it didn't really matter. But throughout that period that season, it was a straight 4-3-3, and I think we only lost 3 games at home out of what was it, out of 19. We did really well, really good season.
They try and replicate that home form this season then.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd take that now. So looking at, go on. No, go on. I was going to say, looking at Barrow's squad, they've just brought in Don Telford, who's at this level is a really, really decent pain in the arse tiny striker, isn't he, Joe?
Yeah, he's a good player. He was top scorer in League Two a couple of seasons ago with Newport. So, he's a good player. He's a good finisher. He gets in behind. He's a good technical player, and they've got a few players to watch out for. They've got obviously Courtney Duffus up there. I know he's not played too much recently, but yeah, it looks like he's put together a decent side. They're looking to, I think, looking at some of the numbers behind the games, looking defensively pretty sound, and they're grinding out a good few results. So again, it's just going to be one of those where it's tough. Each team brings something a little bit different to the table, and you've got to be ready for each game really, and not underestimate teams.
And Charlie, it's nice to be playing Barrow again in this sort of circumstance, and it's nice to see them doing well, because despite the fact that they are only just round the bay, we've never really classed them as rivals, because we've hardly ever been in the same division as them, haven't we?
Really, but it should be a really good game. But not far to go on the Tuesday night, Halloween. Hopefully, a good game, and hopefully the 3 points. I think we've been a bit too nice, boys. We're going to win on Saturday. We're going to win on Tuesday.
Oh, is that your that's your confident predictions, is it?
Yeah, because Jordan. I was saying to Jordan on Saturday. He's like been an absolute breath of fresh air this year. Again, coming back, and I think he's really epitomises what the team are trying to do, working hard, playing for each other, being positive. We're in a really good place.
Well, it's funny because I'll move on to Jordan now, and it seems that obviously, how many times has Derek signed you now, Jordan?
This is the 4th.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, have you got pictures of him naked or something, or is it?
No comment.
Hey, Jan's on 5. Ask him.
So yeah, so he obviously trusts you, and that's nice that he trusts you. And obviously, the last time you were with us, Toombs came on the podcast in his first season when we were in League One, and he said I was predicting from Christmas onwards that we were going up.
He said he predicted that at the start of the season.
Yeah, well, he said I predicted it, and then everybody joined in, didn't they? And said, "Oh yeah, we can do this." But you were saying obviously there's a similar sort of feeling in the squad that this, obviously you were here last time, and it's a similar sort of feeling. Am I right?
I believe so, yeah, because I mean, I don't think we've once, if anyone spoke about it, I've not heard anyone speak about it. I don't think we as footballers do that, unless, I guess maybe if you like clear at the top of the table by Christmas, you might start speaking about it. But I mean, we're only 13? Well, we've only, I'm only 13 games.
Yeah.
We're only 13 games in, so there's, nothing's won now. But all I say is that we feel extremely confident, especially at home. And I think the lads know. I know we've got a young team, but I think even they know, this has to. It has to keep going. It's not going after 13 games. We have to just take game by game and just keep doing what we're doing. But, I'm pretty sure if you asked all the team, they believe that they can get promoted out of this league. That's why we're here. I don't think there's one player who's just going to be satisfied with, a 9th, 10th place finish. I don't think anyone's going to be happy with that.
So well, then I'll put you on the spot. Do you want Wembley again, or do you want automatic?
Good question.
Because Wembley was bloody awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's too nerve-wracking. I didn't play that game because of my injury, but it's too nerve-wracking. I think. I don't know. It's a really tricky question. I think I'd rather it automatic. I'd rather get it. Yeah, I want it. Automatic.
All right, I'll settle for that.
Yeah.
So down to you personally now. As I said, you said Derek signed you 4 times. And he's used it. He uses you in a sort of a very, very a very similar role where you've got to work hard defensively. But every time we speak to anybody in the past sort of like 3 years that we've been doing this podcast, when Derek's been in charge, it's always been you do your job defensively and he gives you the freedom to do what you want attacking wise. Is that still the case?
More or less, yeah. You cannot be a lazy player playing for him. No way. He will not let you off. So I've known him 10 years now, so I know exactly what he wants. Is he just wants the lads working hard. Even in training's fun. Everyone's working hard, and we have a laugh. He loves the loud banter. He loves all that. But as long as you're working hard, so that works perfect for me. Like that's what I love doing. I love working hard and I love having fun. That's me in a nutshell.
So when you got the call from him again, obviously you were. Was I right? You were out of contract at Halifax.
I was out of contract. Right,
so you're out of contract. So are you sort of thinking in May, what am I going to do now? And then all of a sudden, there's this Scottish voice on the phone going, "Hello."
It's like that with loads of football, because you think like especially in League 1 and 2, but predominantly you only sign a 1-year contract, and if you're not playing every week, you're going to be a bit sketchy, like what's happening next year. And that's football. That's the pressure we deal with. That's just what it is. But yeah, when we got in contact with Derek, and we had a good chat. And he doesn't really need to explain what he wants. I already know what he wants. So I originally come in for a trial. I think it was a week I did, and then he told me he wanted to sign me, and there weren't much time wasted there. I just put pen to paper straight away.
So when he rang you and said, "I'm getting the band back together," what were you thinking?
To be honest, well, he didn't say like that. Like I didn't know Jan had signed until I'd seen it on the Morecambe Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd messaged Jan. I think I seen that he signed, and I rang him up saying I'm coming in as well, because he didn't know I was coming in, because obviously it wouldn't have been announced. I was only coming in to train originally.
Yeah.
I just worked my ass off really in pre-season to show that I'm still here, and it's given me another chance, and I'm very grateful for that.
And your opportunities have come, because obviously we've only got a small squad, and we already spoke about, and you've grabbed it with both hands. As I mentioned in your intro, the fans have really got you behind you this time, because it's like having an old friend back, isn't it? So you must feel that's really nice.
Yeah, it is. Honestly, it feels like home. Like when I never get bored of the Slew shout. I don't. I do love it. But yeah, it's been great. Especially like obviously at the start of the season, I don't think I played for the first five or six games. But then I got injured, and then my chance come, and then hopefully I've repaying it back so far. Still got a lot of work to do, of course. But yeah, I'm glad that I'm in playing, and that's more importantly that the team's winning.
So a couple of the Accrington, I can't even speak. I'll come back to, in the fact that we had about 4 one-on-ones that night, and two of them were yours. That keeper saved your first one from Bloxy's cross, where you absolutely pelted it and hit it, and everybody thought it was in. That was some stop by the keeper, wasn't it? That.
Yeah, that was the one, because I think Accrington was the best we played as a team.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that was the best we played all season, and it worked. Like, we weren't great against Tranmere, we weren't great against Sutton, and we come away with 3 points each from them. And this one was 2 points dropped, essentially, because they didn't really push for much. They were dropping back because they give us respect. They knew that we was all over them, essentially. But I had the chance, the one at last kick at game, which I should have scored. But I think we should have. I think that's one of them games where we should have won by 2, 3 or 4.
I'll forgive you that last minute, because it was your right foot.
I couldn't sleep that night. I couldn't sleep. I was so annoyed with myself. Like as I am, I come in and I apologise to the lads. You kind of feel like I've let the team down in that sense. Even though I thought I had a good game, but that would just be the cream on the cake. That was.
Well, the only thing that gets you off the hook is JJ had a 1-on-1 which keeper saved.
He should have squared it.
Well, yeah.
And the square, I was screaming at him. I told him, I was screaming at him. I sprinted so fast to get there as well. But, so be it.
And Jake Taylor went round their keeper and chipped it, and their bloke headed it away. So if we can't just blame you. We've got to blame everybody for missing the one-on-ones. We created so many chances in that game. And as you said.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing we're missing as well. I think we need to just be more ruthless. Like, we're winning games by 1 goal, but I think we need to, obviously, that's a big responsibility on me as well. We need to put them away, and it makes it easier on the back for them instead of when it's a draw. When you're on top of a game and it's still 0-0 or it's only 1-0, the opponents are still in there, even though you might be battering them, they're still in there. So it's the goals that kill the games. So I just think that's the little thing that we need to bring to the team here.
Thank you.
My final little question before I hand you over to Joel to give you a proper grilling is it must be slightly different this season because obviously we've got crowds, and the last time when we got promoted we didn't have anybody in the ground at all apart from me commentating and Charlie sat in the director's box, and so how are you finding the atmosphere at home games?
It's brilliant. Like the fans are incredible. Like, obviously in the COVID year it was strange and weird for everyone, but having the fans back like now, it's incredible.
That's positive. And so you'll find it. I gather, and what's coming across is that you're actually enjoying your football.
Yeah, definitely. Like, obviously, it was a difficult start. Like, no one wants to be sitting on a bench, and then you've got to wait for your opportunity. And when you do get the opportunity, you've got to take it. So the pressure's on. I think my first one was Gillingham, and obviously the training fitness to match fitness is very different. So I could really feel it then. I think the next one after that I scored was Forest Green, and I felt like after that I've come into my stride, and I think there's still a hell of a lot more to come from me. Still, after every game we'll watch our bits back. After the day after or a couple of days after the game, and we'll just go through certain bits. So we're always trying to better ourselves as a team, and we get the individual clips as well. So when I watch certain bits, I think I could have done that, could have done this better, because I know I can do it. So I think there's still a lot more to come from me.
Well, I hope so, because you're not, as we've already established, you're not the oldest in the team, so you've still got plenty of time to learn.
Plenty. Plenty.
And I will point out, you can now point out who is older than you.
Jan Songo and Christopher Stokes.
There you go. So
there you go.
He's not but a pup. Joel, over to you.
Yeah.
Third oldest is crazy. The game's changing a lot.
Well, going back quite a few years, then take you back to your youth. I think one of the first things that comes up when you sign for the first time is the transfer you had when you were still quite a young player. I think was it for £1 million. So what was that like, kind of having that gravity of move at that age?
I don't answer that one. It's difficult. Like, I was doing really well at Sheffield United, of course. So I was 18, and then the new manager come in and things were changing around a little bit. So then when Blackburn come, it kind of felt like a no-brainer. But I couldn't turn it down, because it's Blackburn is a huge club, and in the Premier League. So it was really hard to turn down. And I don't regret it to this day. I met some great people. The football was great. Played with fantastic players, great managers. So it's one that I'll always remember. And they also give me Premier League debut. So I can't be. I've got absolutely no regrets about that one.
Well, they can't take that away from you. And secondly, and we say this to everybody who comes on, you don't put the value on your head, do you? Somebody else does.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. I mean, when Blackburn come up, because around that time, I think Fulham were putting in bids and stuff. So, and for a period of a couple of months, and then Blackburn come in on deadline day, 7, 8 o'clock at night. The window shuts at 11. I'm in Sheffield, so I've got probably 20 minutes to make my up my mind and then get a drive on to Blackburn to make the deal happen. So yeah, it was very quick, very, very, very quick. And it's one of them that it's either now or never kind of thing, because you never know.
No, exactly. And I think it's quite funny looking back at the youth team you have with Sheffield United as well, because I think there's a famous FA Youth Cup final, isn't there, when you play Man United and they've got like Ravel Morrison and Pogba and Lingard in that team. And I love looking at and then you've got Harry Maguire at the back. But I quite like how it's you and Joe Ironside up front, isn't it?
We had a team. We had George Long was in the net. Harry Maguire. Who else is playing now? Elliot Whitehouse is playing. Can't remember where he is now though.
He's in
me and Joe Ironside up front. We had Carl McFadden, who's at Wrexham now. Yeah, we had a good side as well. But when you look back at it now, it was never going to be enough to beat that United side, which they said the best side since the '92 team.
Yeah.
No, exactly. There's only so much you can do against those kinds of players, really. But so kind of moving back to kind of the present day, really. I think you touched upon how solid we are out of possession. I think it might have been before we started recording. So I guess with you not quite being the oldest, only third oldest player in the squad, is there a responsibility that you kind of feel to help kind of? Because I think the young players are working really doing really well with the discipline. But is there going to be a bit of a responsibility on yourself to help make sure everybody's settled into that defensive unit properly?
Yeah, definitely. Because I think with my age, I hate saying it like that, but I'm only 31. But like, obviously, it comes with experience. So like, obviously, a lot of the lads, Mellon's 19, JJ's 21, and the top players are so young though. Like, I didn't think they were that young before they actually told me how old he was. But yeah, I do feel the pressure not a pressure. I'm enjoying it in the sense like the older guy, when we're under the cosh, just to cool things down.
When David was getting a bit hot-headed, you put your arm around him and walk around, and I think from watching you over this stint and the previous stint, I think you're relishing taking the responsibility. I think you're really
definitely.
I think it's making you play better.
Yeah, I am enjoying it. Yeah, one against Sutton.
Yeah, every game.
Yeah, because it's an emotional game, and you can get angry, you can get annoyed, etc. like that. But as you get older, you learn how to control all those emotions, which I think I'm way better than when I was some of the lads' age now at 21. Like, I've obviously changed a lot. Physically and definitely mentally, so I just know now, we need 11 players on the pitch. We've had a couple of sending offs in certain games, which have, might have cost us points. So, we always need 11 players on the pitch. And, just helping the lads just cool down and remember, what's the job in hand. I'm relishing in that. It's nice.
Stopping Michael Mellon going into the ground and celebrating with his mates against Forest Green, I think, was another good one.
Yeah,
I know he quite enjoyed that one.
We're getting fined for that now. You know how easy it is to get booked now. Like, players are getting booked for having a shot as the whistle's going. It's quite ridiculous, and I hope they they have a look at that.
Who got booked for doing that, Jordan?
Do what? Sorry.
Who got booked for doing that, Jordan? Yeah.
Well,
I wonder why you remember that.
Yeah, it once, but I think this happened to, I don't know, 3-4 lads. Just you're still playing, you're still in motion, and as you're kicking the ball, and then they blow the whistle, they see it as wasted time, even though the opponents might be winning, or it might be a draw in the 5th minute, you know, and they're going to add the time in anyway. So I don't understand the booking situation. I think they need to have a look at that, because, you know, I'm going to assume that the yellow cards have risen through the roof from last season, and probably reds as well because of the yellows.
Just looking at back to the team, really, and I think we talked a bit about, obviously you've worked with Derek quite a lot, and you say you've had a lot of experience in League Two by this point, and Derek's obviously a very successful manager in League Two. So what do you think it is that are the kind of key things that are kind of built in the sides you've played under Derek, and what kind of that make them so effective in this division, and, you know, a couple of promotions previously, you know, what are the kind of key things from those?
A very intelligent man. He very rarely gets the tactics wrong. Very, very rarely. If he says we're doing something, it predominantly always works. Like, he always, like, if you go for certain teams, can't give too much away, obviously, but like, we go certain teams will do something very different to what we might do for majority of the other teams. But like, he's always spot on. When he says something's going to happen, it actually probably does happen. So when he's playing the tactics, everyone's listening, because they know, you know, we're working under a manager who knows what he's doing. You know, I think he works extremely hard behind the scenes to get things right, to get the team right, to get the tactics right as well. And you've got no choice to buy into that anyway. So, you know, everyone knows the spirit.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of actually just made me think about what I think one of the ones that sticks out, going back to the promotion season, actually. I remember when we played Cheltenham at home, and Cheltenham were playing 3-5-2. They were very effective in it that season. And we just randomly played a diamond. And I was like, what?
Was that the first game of the season against them when we won 2-1?
No, it was the one towards the end of the season when Linden scored at home.
Oh, we won 1-0.
We won 1-0, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that might have been after your injury, actually.
We thought it would have been, yeah. I can't remember, because I can't remember home.
No,
I think
it's just one that sticks out in my mind, is one he just did a really properly bizarre and unexpected kind of change of tactics, and ended up being really effective. But
I think he'll do that from time to time, because I genuinely believe he's like he loves football. You know, he loves football, and, you know, I think he works extremely hard to get tactics right, which is so important. I think he's one of the best managers in these lower league divisions. The tactics, I think he's an incredible tactician. He, as I said, he never really gets it wrong. So when he's telling you something, you do listen widely.
Going back to that promotion season, then
You're not going to leave it alone, are you?
No, God, come on. We've got one member of this squad who was in the promotion season. We've got to talk about it a bit, haven't we? But I was just going to say, what was there I know we kind of briefly touched on it before, but was there a certain point in that season where you just started thinking, you know what, I think this might be on?
Oh, it's hard to remember a point.
Forest Green away.
95th minute equaliser.
Did Carlos score that?
Carlos scored a header.
I weren't there, but I remember it. Because I was in. I think I got injured in a March, but even in that March time, I think we would have been. I can't remember exactly. We would have been in the playoffs. I'm pretty sure of it, at least in the playoffs. So everyone, by March, you know what you're aiming for. If you're near the bottom table, you're trying to stay away from relegation. If you're up near there, you're trying to get in the playoffs. But I think at that point we would have been around in the playoffs, looking to get automatic. But I think by the time I come back and actually watch the game, I only remember from that season playing. Was it Bradford at home? And if we'd won and Stockport, what team was it? Bolton. If we had won and Bolton didn't win, we would have gone straight up. It was that game of the season. I think we was on the same, either a point behind or on the same points, and they would have better goal difference. And we had to win that game, and that's really all I remember, because I think that might have been the only game I'd come to after my leg break. because I was at home resting a lot.
I was gonna say, I think the one talking just before that injury. Then I think I remember the Crawley game, and again things that Derek suddenly kind of changed up really suddenly. I think it might have been one of your last games before the injury, but and I remember he just changed. We had that incredible game against Salford, then played Mansfield a few days later, and were really really flat. And then Derek changed pretty much about half the team, and you came in. And I just remember I've got to mention the little back heel assist.
That back heel.
Cole.
I remember, yeah, so
We still talk about that now.
he had it for Cole. I remember. Yeah, we had a very good game that we played awesome that day. It was against Crawley, weren't it?
Yeah,
It was,
Crawley,
yeah.
yeah.
Crawley. So I met it was playing the same team running up to that game because the team was just winning. You can't change it. But because there'd been that many games, the lads were obviously extremely tired playing Saturday, Tuesday. So I think, if I'm right, probably made about 9 changes. 9 changes.
Even changed the goalkeeper.
Yeah,
They changed the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he put Halstead in for a game.
indeed.
Yeah, we must have made 9-10 changes at least. And Crawley were a good footballing side. I remember that season, and so it was going to be a task. But I remember with football we battered them. We bopped them off the park that day. I remember, and then I got the assist. That would come quite early on, didn't it?
Yeah, that was quite early on the game. Yeah,
From Carlos over the top, touchdown, left foot, Cole finish, bottom corner.
Good
That was
memory,
good.
man.
I know. To be fair, Carlos did. He loved those because he cut inside a little bit and then pop it over, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
I see you could-
We had a good partnership down that side.
That was the case, yeah, because you always know if you kind of run across the defence and he's going to cut it back across, isn't he?
Yeah, like that reverse ball over the top, didn't it?
Yeah, it's good that one. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
fun memories. Yeah, cheers, Joel. Yeah,
Have we finished with all our yesterdays now?
well, it's the promotion. Yeah.
Jordan, were you at the Walsall game, the last game before COVID hit, or was that a different season? I can't remember.
No, I was there before we broke.
Yeah. I remember speaking to you in the tunnel. You just signed, and so you've been through all that, through all the COVID, through the promotion season, not actually. You were playing so well when you got injured, and you didn't actually get to go to play at Wembley, and that's why it's all happening again this year, mate. You owed it, I think.
I hope so.
By the way, there's Songo, there's Jan as well, Joel. He's not the only one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, true. Yeah, we'll have to grill him about it as
You
well.
forgot about, tell Jan you forgot about him. He's going to batter you.
Is that older bloke than Jordan, isn't he? That's right.
That's the one. Comes older than me.
Right, so I want to move it on. I want to just say a little tribute to the groundsman Rob Davidson, who's moving on to pastures new. Congratulations to him. He has done an absolutely fantastic job, Charlie. The board did a fantastic job appointing him. He's a local lad. I know he's fought long and hard to get the stuff that he needed to put the pitch where it should be. And I've said it at the end of last season, the pitch looks as good as it did at the start. And it's a credit to them that we were in League One and that pitch held up. And Jordan remembers the pitch we had when we got promoted, and it was divoted and lots of grass missing by the end of it. That doesn't happen anymore, and that's thanks to Rob. So I just want to pay tribute to him and wish him luck. And I hope that we can find a really, really decent quality replacement, because the pitch has never looked better, Charlie.
It's been fun. He's done a great job, and wish him all the best. And we're recruiting at the moment. So anyone's got a lawnmower, get down to Mazuma.
That'd be good though.
Yeah, you're going to bring your lawnmowers. So what's happening off the field, Charlie? Besides your fantastic Parkinson's golf tournament.
So many things happening, Freez. I wish I could tell you about them. But we've got Martin's doing some really good new sponsorship stuff, which was talking about last weekend. There's a whole real good feel good situation around the whole club at the moment, I think. Even though we've got all these injuries and suspensions going on, I think everything's going really well. I was speaking to Derek and the lads and everyone, the backroom staff on Saturday. Everyone's really motivated, haven't they, Jordan? It's just a really good place to be at the moment, and trying to keep there's lots of exciting things coming through from the
EFL about maybe some extra payments coming through. So there's lots of things in the pipeline. I can't discuss much now, but it's just to hope we keep win on Saturday, win on Tuesday, win the Saturday after, keep winning, and we've got 3 or 4 away games in a row, haven't we, coming up? It's gonna be tough through the EFL Trophy and the FA Cup and stuff. Rubbish FA Cup draw, by the way.
Yeah, it tends to be the way.
We always get a really good League One side away, don't we?
Well, I think, who did we get last season? We got
Wednesday.
It was Sheffield Wednesday away.
It was literally pretty much the hardest draw you could probably have got. That's
one thing I've learned from doing this directorship of football is that the FA Cup draw is the most important thing that happens in the year, pretty much. You know, if you get to the third round, the amount of money we can get from it, even going to Chelsea and Spurs was amazing. You know, but I still tell a story about my son, 8-year-old son, sitting next to Daniel Levy in his face when we go 1-0 up. You know, really, really in his face. He didn't like it, but I loved it. But you know, it's just the money that comes in, the feel good factor again, the prestige, the memories that can be made. But ultimately, if we get to the third round or fourth round with good draws, it brings in so much money to the club. And if you get a league, top League One team in round one, we're not going to get on TV, not going to get any radio, and hopefully we're going to win. But it's easy to play a non-league team in the first couple of rounds and get a big draw in the third round. Derek's always said that at Plymouth Argyle they drew 0-0 with Liverpool, didn't they?
Yeah, played that game. Yeah,
the greatest defensive performance that Anfield's probably ever seen.
That brought over £1 million, which would really, really do. So hopefully beat Lincoln and get back on track with a easy second round draw, and then Man United away in the third round. Or would you play Sheffield United in the third round away? That'd be good, Jordan.
That'd be fantastic.
I'd go for anything like that. But more importantly, I'd settle getting something at Lincoln, because Sincilbank's not been a happy hunting ground for us. And as a matter of interest, we did play Lincoln in the first round of the FA Cup in 1975. If your taxi driver was still there, he'd be bored with that fact. But we lost 2-0. I think it was 75. No, it might have been 77. Graham Taylor was manager, and we lost 2-0, and I went. And Sincilbank had a horrible open side, which they put us on. And we never got a kick, really. But I was 14, so I was young then. But my memory's going, so I probably got something wrong there. But anyway. But there you go. So yeah, it'd be nice to get something there. But you're right, Charlie. It's been such a development for the club. When we've played Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, which unfortunately, we had no crowd there, which was a nightmare. But the Spurs day out was a great.
Paul Klein, I said it's to pay a check though, so that was every cloud.
Yeah, well, yeah, true, yeah, true. And to be fair, it was actually quite nice. Frank Lampard and Derek having a little chat. So
Derek's story that was Derek was like he laughed. Lampard was under pressure, wasn't he? And the team was worth £283 million.
Yeah,
Their starting 11, he was like, not trying to be too negative, but we could be in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, that's right. But there you go. These things happen. So to finish off, before I come to the Shrimps Trust with Joel, what we've got on, there is. I've just noticed today that there's their food bank collection on Saturday before the Wimbledon game. So if you're listening to this, obviously before the Wimbledon game, it would be great if you could turn up with some stuff for the food bank, because I know things are getting really, really tough for them. And there's certain things, if you go on their website, they'll tell you exactly what you need. But I know there's nappies and baby food and stuff like that. And I'm going to buy a bag and take stuff down on Saturday. I think it's a worthy cause, but that's just me. But that's before the collection of a van before the Wimbledon game. But Joel, Shrimps Trust stuff?
Yeah, I think the main thing is obviously a few days ago we hit 700 members for this season. We've got 200 returning /lapse members come back on board, and now we've as of a few days ago we've broken our record membership, which is really, really good. And I think to come off having a really tough season last season on the pitch and with relegation, obviously stuff off the field too, and for kind of mirroring almost the tendencies, the way that attendances have maintained despite being back in League Two. You know, membership has increased on last season, so it's really, really fantastic to see. And just a big thank you to everybody, you know, signing up and helping try and make a difference.
I've got friends who are Wimbledon fans, and they just said after 5 years in League One, they just got fed up of losing every week. It's been League Two winning games. And I think it got a bit like that towards this season as well now, isn't it? When everyone's positive by winning every week instead of going to Sheffield Wednesday away, you know, Plymouth Argyle away, you know, getting battered every week, no matter how hard you try. You know, I think we're in a really good place because of that. And Sutton United was great for me, 18 minutes commute for me, not 27 hours. But a big shout out to the guys I met in the crowd at the end. Came from Tennessee, USA, to watch the Shrimps in the away.
Yeah, amazing.
Tennessee in America. Came to England just to watch Morecambe.
I know, that's incredible, isn't it? Absolutely
Amazing.
incredible.
Yeah, so
Well,
big shout out to those boys.
Well, he was from the Deep South, and he was in the Deep South, and we won, so that will do for me. That was a crap pun. Joel, there were some discussions going on between the Shrimps Trust and the club regarding possible travel to away. How have you got on with that?
I think it's still something that's being worked, and obviously there's the Wrexham coach that we're putting on. I don't think we've announced tickets, we're selling tickets for that yet, but obviously it's going to be priority for membership, and we are expecting that to almost certainly sell out relatively quickly.
Any coaches must have reinforced tyres.
So, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we don't want any more. Hopefully, no more puncture disasters on the way down to that. Although, thankfully, it is a bit of a shorter journey down to Wrexham. In terms of getting something arranged long term, there's not really too much of an update. I think ultimately it could be one of those things that might need, if there's a volunteer who's coming on board the trust and who is able to kind of commit the amount of time that's needed to organising regular away travel, because I think at the moment we don't quite have that facility on the trust at the moment. But if there's, we've got a wide membership, and if there is somebody who fancies, thinks that they might be able to help run it, then please do get in touch.
Either that or groundsman. Yeah.
Yeah. Lawnmowers or coach drivers. Please get in touch.
That's exactly what we need.
Or footballers.
Footballers, yeah.
Yeah. It's funny you should say that, because I was in the club today, and Nikki in the office said she was reserve keeper for Saturday. She's taking her gloves and her boots, and I was like, "Yeah, you're probably right, Nikki, because it's looking pretty solid."
Barry must be getting really excited.
Oh, right, that's us finished. Thank you very much, Charlie. It was nice that for the second half of the podcast we could actually see you and not just see lights going past in the car.
Let's look into
Jordan, Faz will be listening to this or watching this thinking that's a great picture of me behind. I'm quite happy with that. So thanks for joining us at such late notice. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you come back on when Dale tries to...
I text him on Tuesday, he never got back to me. He turns up.
Oh, there you go, you see.
Like, blank me.
Yeah, quite right. Yeah, quite right. I'd do the same, John.
I know, everyone blue blanks me.
Yeah. This has been ShrimpNet number 11. I hope you've enjoyed it, and long may the happy run of games continue, despite the fact that we're losing players at a rate of knots. Thanks for listening.